Hello, welcome to RC Video Reviews. I've got 6 little tricks I'd like to show you today. The first one is how to edit your models file so you can rearrange the categories on your radio really quickly. I'm going to show you how to change the welcome audio file when you boot up the radio, how to quickly edit curves from the mixer, how to change your timer source using a channel instead of a stick. I'm going to show you how to add the TX battery widget to your home screen and how to set your failsafe using global functions. Let's get started. This first trick is one of my favorites, and it's probably one of those unknown things unless you tinker around in the software like I do. You can see on my radio I've got categories on the side: 3D, Jets, Balsa, Sport, Warbirds. I don't like things being out of alphabetical order, so it's kind of challenging to massage this. You can do it in Companion, but I'm going to show you a real fast and easy way to do it. Start out by plugging your USB cable into the top of your radio right here, and then plug it into your computer. I'm going to do that, and while I do that, we're going to switch over to the computer. Notice I'm prompted for using joystick or SD card. I'm going to select the SD card or USB storage. And I got the bongs on my computer letting me know that the SD card is being read. And the first thing I'm going to do is go into the radio directory right here on the left. And notice this text file that says models. Now before we go any further, I'm going to caution you, make sure you back up that SD card. Mine's already backed up and I'm very familiar with this process, so I have no fear of messing around in here. Hey, if you like the work I do here on RC Video Reviews, please consider joining me on Patreon. For about the price of a cup of coffee, you can help me keep making videos just like this one. If you'd like to help out, there's a link in the description and on your screen. So I'll just click on the models file and look at what's in there. Notice the 3D, Jets, Balsa, Sport. You see these highlights and brackets? Those are the category names, and underneath those category names, the radio places the binary file for your model configuration. So here's the trick. You can simply move these around. So notice I'm going to grab Balsa right here, and I'm going to go all the way down to the last model that's in my Balsa category, and I'm just going to hit Control X and get rid of that last carriage return, and I'm going to move up to Jets, and I'm going to hit Control V, and then I'll hit carriage return. So now notice that I've rearranged it. I've got 3D now, and then Balsa, and then Jets. So that's B, J, L, Q, R, S, T, V, W, W. So I got Warbirds, Wings. Oh, there's FPV down there. That's no good. That needs to be moved up to the top. So I'm going to grab FPV, and I'm going to hit Control X, delete that last carriage return, and I'm going to go place FPV in between Balsa and Jets with a Control V, and then a carriage return. So I'm always trying to get this exactly the same way. I'm just moving these categories around. So there's Wings, there's Test. Oh, and there's another one hiding down there, Pattern. Pattern goes above T. So we'll grab Pattern and Control X. Oh, it goes up here above Sport, actually. So Control V, and there we go. I'm going to leave Test down at the bottom because that's where I do all my test files when I'm doing videos like this one. So everything else looks good. I look like I'm in alphabetical order now, so I'm just going to hit Control S. And now I'll unplug the radio from the computer, and you hear that it went away. When that icon's gone, I'll hit Model Select, and we should see the categories on the radio match up with the categories I have on my screen. So the first category I've got is 3D, and then Balsa, and then FPV, and then Jets, and then Pattern, and then Sport, and Warbirds, and then Wings, and then Test. So there you go. That's how you change your categories really fast and really easy on your computer. Just move the categories around in the models file that you find in your radio directory on the SD card. Just be careful to leave the format the same. Don't change the format. Leave the categories, leave them alone, and make sure that your line starts with brackets, a word, and closes with brackets, and then leave the binary files where they are. If you don't, then you're going to have to rearrange your models on the radio. By the way, you can also move these binary files too. So if you want to get rid of all your categories and put everything into one, it'd be really easy just to take out the category headers and do that too. So I think you get the idea. Let's go ahead and move on. The next thing we'll do is change the welcome audio. So I'm going to close the models file. I'm going to plug the radio back in. We're going to select SD card on the radio. And here we go. I've got the radio SD card on my screen. I'm going to go in the sounds directory, English, and then System. And you come down to System, and you should see a file in here called Hello. I'm going to play that for you.
Welcome to OpenTx.
Okay, welcome to OpenTx. That's my default. Let's say I don't like that and I want to change it. I'm just going to hit Control N for a new window. And I know that I have in my stock SD card, I've got a sound file. Let's see, no, I need the sync SD card. Sound file, English, and down here in the bottom, there's one called OpenTx right there. I'm going to use that one. So I'm just going to copy that to my desktop, close that window. I'm going to rename my original file. I'm just going to call that hello-orig or original. And then I'll rename this OpenTx file that I downloaded. I'm just going to call that hello. And I'll drag that over to the system directory on my sound card on the radio and let it go. And then if you want to hear what it sounds like, here it is.
OpenTx.
So instead of saying welcome to OpenTx, it just says OpenTx. And that's it. Close it out, unplug the radio, and as soon as the SD card icon is gone, I'm just going to power it off and restart it.
OpenTx.
There you go, OpenTx. You can use anything you want. I just wanted to show you where the file was and how to make the change. Okay, that's how you change your welcome audio. The next one is curves. I want to show you this really neat little trick for editing curves. You know, normally when you're in the radio and you're working in your mixer or your inputs and you have a curve set up, I'm going to just go ahead under, I'll do it under throttle. I'll go under throttle, hit edit, and I'm going to add a curve, and there's CV1. So there's my curve 1. It says custom. Now, here's the trick. Rather than back out of mixes and then page over to curves and then edit CV1, and then come into CV1 and make changes to the curve. Say I want to make this one 100, and then go back to my mixer and see how it works. That's the obvious way to do it, right? So if you don't want to do that, all you have to do is come into the curve in the mixer, highlight the curve name, and then long press. And when you do that, bam, you're right there on the curve, and you can go in and edit it without having to bounce back and forth in the tab screen up top. So, and then when you exit out, you go right back to your mixer where you started. I don't know how many people know about that trick, but I found that one and I thought it was really cool. That's one of those things the OpenTx developers do that kind of make you say, I really like those guys. So anyway, yeah, when you have a curve defined in your mixer, highlight it, long press it, and it brings you right to the curve editor. Saves a lot of clicking around. All right, I thought you guys might like that one if you've never seen that before. The next thing I want to cover is the timer source for your timers. Go under your model setup right here, the first tab, and then you'll notice I've got a timer set up and I'm using the throttle THS value, which is fine. That works great. I like THS. But here's the tricky part. Come down here to timer source, and you notice mine is on channel 3. The default is to use the input of throttle. Now that works because what will happen is when you set that, when you move this throttle stick up like this, the timer starts going. And that does work. The problem is, what if you have your throttle cutoff set? So in my case, my throttle cutoff right now is on. So if my throttle cutoff is on and I happen to move my stick while my radio's on, I don't want my timer to start, and I definitely don't want it to go against any persistent timers I've set up. So the reason we use channel 3 instead of the throttle stick is because with that as your source, the channel now becomes the governing issue on whether or not that timer starts. So if I go back up to the top now and say, okay, I've got the throttle stick as my indicator or my trigger, but channel 3 is the source. Now when I back out and start moving my stick, if my throttle cut is on, see, I'm moving my stick, and you see my timer's not starting, right? But if I enable my throttle by turning my throttle cut off and I push that away, now my throttle cut is off. Now watch what happens. And see the timer starts going. I used OpenTx for a very long time before I figured that out. In fact, I only recently figured that out. So if you didn't know about that little trick, it's a good one. So use your channel as the source, and that way your timer will only start when your throttle is actually working. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to add your transmitter battery voltage to your screen. I get asked this question all the time. I know it was just on there. If you're paying attention, it was just there. I removed it so I could show you how to add it. But I get this question all the time, and I'm just going to show everyone how to do it once and for all. So the way you do it, from your main screen, you hit the bottom button, the telemetry button, and that brings you into the widget setup. Hit the page left, or if you're on a jumper, long press your page button and go back until you see the user interface, the top bar. Then you come down to this little button at the bottom that says top bar setup. Click on that, and then use your scroll wheel to move the box or the highlight to whatever field you want it in. I like to put my battery all the way over here on the right hand side, so when I got it over there, there it is. I'm going to press the jog dial. And now here's the tricky part, because this is not intuitive. You got to scroll over until you find the one that says value. See that says rudder value? That's why it's not intuitive. It's kind of hidden. So you click on that, and then under widget settings, you press the jog dial again and get that field blinking, and then you scroll down to battery. You're looking for BATT. Oop, I think I just passed it. There it is, BAT. Press the button. I like a shadow under mine, so I'm going to put a check mark in the shadow box. And now when I hit escape, you'll see my battery value right there on that widget bar at the top. We back all the way out. There we go. That's how you add the battery voltage to the top bar of an OpenTx radio. The last one I've got is really cool. We just spent a lot of time talking about fail-safes. We talked about fail-safes in a live stream. I did a standalone fail-safe video. I'm going to show you one more thing that you can do that's really cool on fail-safes. So we'll start out by pressing the system button and toggle over to global functions. And you'll notice on GF6, I already have SH up is set fail-safe, and I've got a check mark right there. Now once you've done that, go back out to your main screen. The next thing we'll do is hit the model button, and we'll go to our set failsafe mode and hit set. My current failsafe settings are indicated by the red bars on the screen, and notice I have my SH switch toward me. It's toward me right now. So when I move my stick around, there is no failsafe being set. So let's set the failsafe now. I'm going to move my sticks to some weird position. Let's just say that's the way I want them. Once I have them that way, I'm going to click the SH switch away and then back. And when I do that, notice the red bars are now locked in place. So that's my new failsafe. All right, again, I'm going to move my sticks to some weird, who knows, some weird position. I'll click the SH switch away. When I do that, the red bars are now set. I pull the switch toward me and let go, and there's my failsafe. So if you want to set your failsafe without going into your system menu, that's how you do it. Well, there you go, guys. Now you know some of my favorite little tips and tricks for OpenTx. I hope you found the information useful. If you did, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when new material hits the channel. Make sure you check out my affiliate links, leave a thumbs up and a comment. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy.